Women make up almost half the workforce.
Uh-huh.
They're the sole or primary income source in 40% of U.S. households with children. That's up from 11% in 1960.
Women have become more financially independent and responsible. Go on.
And they're more likely to receive college degrees than men.
But we won't explain what kinds of degrees women are mostly acquiring. No. That would explain something.
Despite all this, the gender wage gap persists.
Earnings gap, not a wage gap. It is an earnings gap. This is a very important distinction.
In 1963, Congress passed the Equal Pay Act. In 2015, women working full-time made 80 cents for every man's dollar.
If by made you mean earned, then I suppose you are correct. Though I'm surprised that it's now 80 cents on the dollar. Wasn't it 77 cents on the dollar just a little while ago?
And the pay gap is even worse for women of color. Last year, black women earned about 63 cents to a white man's dollar, while Hispanic women earned 54 cents to every white man's dollar.
Huh, really? Gosh, I wonder what they all earned as compared to, say, an Asian man's dollar.
So what's going on? A number of factors affect the gender wage gap: experience, education, career choice, childbirth, and yes, discrimination.
Well, credit where it is due for actually mentioning the factors that go into creating the disparity. But notice how we didn't at all talk about the proportions, at least those that could be actually measured and determined. Discrimination, when and if it exists, is so difficult to nail down, and after you have factored in all of the other things that he mentioned, the chance that there's discrimination in the remaining 2% is at best guesswork. Now, do you think this one spurt of rationality will last? No, it won't.
Experts say that the wage gap isn't just bad for women and their families, it's bad for the whole economy.
Well, then I guess women need to get more work experience, get a better education, and make better job choices, shouldn't they?
One study found that complete gender parity in the workplace could boost the global annual GDP by $28 trillion over the next decade.
Yes, so despite lacking experience, despite shoddy educational choices, and despite shoddy job choices, let's just make equality of outcome the policy, regardless of experience. Let's just throw meritocracy out the window. Everybody gets the same no matter how good or how bad you are at your job. Is that what you're proposing? Because you just gave all the reasons why there is a disparity in earnings.
But until change happens, the gender pay gap will continue, especially as workers age or become mothers.
And so whose responsibility is it to make such changes? You've already described the bulk factors of the disparity as work experience, choices in educational goals, choices in careers, and whether or not to have children. And what are all of these? They are personal choices. So yes, if women want to earn more during their careers, they are going to have to make those choices best suited towards their personal goals. And what if their personal goals do not coincide with working as much and making as much as men? To whom will you complain if the trend continues, as it has been for decades?
Speaking of, when it comes to paid leave for new parents, the US might want to throw more of a tantrum, because the US is the only country out of 41 developed nations that doesn't guarantee paid parental leave. But you're in luck if you live in California, New Jersey, or Rhode Island, because those states all mandate paid leave.
And mandated parental leave is the one issue on which I will agree with you wholly. So, good for you.
So what are some of the candidate positions when it comes to gender equality?
Oh God, do we have to? I guess we have to.
Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton wants to pass the Paycheck Fairness Act. This law would punish companies that retaliate against employees who share salary information.
Yes, a law that was first proposed in 1997 and has been in legislative limbo ever since, and which Hillary Clinton was unable to get passed over the 8 years of her senatorial career. Why you might imagine that the Republicans will suddenly let it go through during a Clinton presidency is beyond me. That aside, as an enhancement of the Equal Pay Act, I don't have any issue with it. But highlighting Clinton's simple desire to see it passed isn't any kind of newsflash.
Clinton also says she will provide up to 12 weeks paid family and medical leave. She says she'll pay for it by making sure the wealthiest Americans pay their fair share of taxes.
Again, desire's all well and good, but good luck on getting Congress to pass a tax hike.
Meanwhile, Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump says he will guarantee 6 weeks of paid leave to new mothers by allowing them access to unemployment benefits.
Yeah, Trump's plan doesn't make much sense either. He intends to pay for these expanded benefits by somehow eliminating a proportional amount of welfare fraud taking place. Except that the estimates of how much welfare fraud actually occurs and is conceivably recoverable won't come close to paying for the 6 weeks guarantee. So, in short, both candidates, as politicians are wont to do, are promising things that they most likely won't be able to deliver on.
Trump also repeatedly claims,
"Nobody respects women more than I do."
What's that I smell? Do I smell ad hominems approaching?
but voters on both sides are wondering how far he'll fight for gender equality issues after some of the well-documented disparaging remarks he's made about women.
But voters on both sides are wondering how genuine Hillary is on gender equality issues after some of the well-documented donations she has taken from countries that actively oppress women, between $10 and $25 million from Saudi Arabia and $1 to $5 million from the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, and Oman.
Make your voice heard on this and other issues November 8th.
And my voice in this election will unfortunately be in the form of silence, as I do not wish either of these people to become President of the United States. Thanks for watching.